Hi, everyone, and a pleasant afternoon to you wherever you may be. I am Tony Abatey. Thanks for joining us here on Duckbait TV as we've got some Lady Tiger volleyball here this afternoon as the Tigers are in the sub-state semifinals here in Eudora. So postseason play begins for the Lady Tigers here this afternoon, and we're excited to be able to bring it to you here on Duckbait TV. As, again, we've got some great sponsors helping us out this season. We'll mention those as we go along here this afternoon, as the Fort Scott Lady Tigers have at least one match today, possibly two, depending on how this first one goes for them here today. They are taking on the Eudora Lady Cardinals. Eudora is seated 4th in the East Sub-State. Fort Scott is seated 13th. And so Fort Scott obviously a seeded upset if they were to win here this afternoon, but looking forward to this one as the Lady Tigers look to get on a roll and make a run here in postseason play. Fort Scott will be in their red tops this afternoon, so they are in the foreground. Eudora in navy, and they are in the foreground here in set number 1. We are just about ready to get things underway here. Eudora will serve first. And we are underway. Fort Scott able to get to the ball there. Now back over to Eudora. Little drop shot. Nice dig by Kegler. Fort Scott gets it over. Now back around to Eudora. They'll come near side. And nice job by the Tigers to get that one back over the net. Nice. They get that one there to Kylie Comstock. Eudora able to recover. Now back over. They go far side. Nice swing, and it's in. So Fort Scott gets the first point of this one here. It was really close to that line, but called in. So Fort Scott goes on top, 1-0 here in set number 1. Going back to serve will be Dakota Hazelbaker. I believe she will get credit for the kill on that previous point for Fort Scott. Long rally went the way of Fort Scott there in the opening point. And now Comstock able to get it across the net for the Tigers. Back to the near side, and it is swung in there by Eudora. So they will tie up this opening frame at 1-1. The other two teams here today are Ottawa and Baldwin. They will play the next match. And the two winners will play in the Sub-State Championship a little bit later on this afternoon. Winner, of course, goes to the state tournament coming up next week. We're going to get a double contact. Yeah, double contact on Raven Kegler that time, unfortunately, for the Lady Tigers. So Eudora goes out in front at 2-1. Nice dig by Fort Scott. They'll go to the far side. This to Stewart, and she's able to get the kill. So that'll tie us back up. Fort Scott's most recent match night, they went down to Independence on Tuesday this week. Grab those scores and make sure I get that right. They lost both matches, but one of them went to 3 sets. As that one finds the net and then rolls down the net and falls on the Fort Scott side of the court. So Eudora on top 3-2 here. And they will serve again. Their libero, Parker Long, will do the honors this time. Short serve, dug by Fort Scott. Hazelbaker got to it, blocked at the net, but falls on Eudora's side. They'll come back near side with the swing. Now way up into the rafters. Fort Scott still going with it. Hazelbaker gets it there. It's to the net. It's dug by Eudora, but they can't get it over. It's going to be a 4 contact. Nice recovery by the Lady Tigers. They've got some netting up in here, up in the rafters here at Eudora High School, and ball looked like it got caught up there, but it came down, and Fort Scott was able to play it. And we're going to get a whistle here, and looks like a net violation on the Lady Tigers. So after Fort Scott ties it up at 3-all, Eudora breaks that tie and goes back up 4-3. Opening set, thanks for joining us here on Duckbait TV. Excited to be able to bring you postseason volleyball here today for the Fort Scott Lady Tigers. Nice dig there by Fort Scott over to Raven Kegler to Keegan Yarick. And Fort Scott reties this opening frame. Little drop shot by Eudora, able to be dug, though, by Fort Scott. They get it back to Raven. She'll get it over. They call a double Wow, they're calling it close today. Really tight. So 5-4, Eudora back on top. Back to serve. Nice dig that time by the Lady Tigers. Fort Scott will keep it alive. Long pass that time from Eudora. They got it up to the front row, and it was just kind of tapped in a different direction, so Eudora will get the point. Unfortunately, Fort Scott, they had somebody at the net to block the initial shot, but the way that it was tapped, and that one's going to hit that netting again up in the rafters. You see that. In fact, I think that's probably for volleyball. They've got the volleyball nets. So, of course, we're on the court here playing the way the basketball court runs, but they've got 3 volleyball nets up in the rafters that would go across the court, much like they do at Fort Scott. And I think there's some netting in between those to kind of keep the ball from going into the other courts when they're playing side to side. And that is given Fort Scott a couple of fits here, and it is 8-4 already here in this first set in favor of Eudora, and the Lady Tigers will take their first time out. Fort Scott looking to change some momentum with this timeout. They had leads of 1-0 and 2-1. Eudora had leads of 3-2 and 4-3 before Fort Scott tied it at each of those numbers, but it's been a 4-0 run here for the Lady Cardinals. And they're on top 8-4 here in set 1 and force Fort Scott to call their first time out of the set. Nice dig by the Lady Tigers. Looked like maybe a little bit of confusion, but they're able to return the ball anyway. They'll work it near side. The Cardinals do. And that was Addie Hemphill on the near side that swings that one home. So now 9-4 in the opening set here this afternoon. That one's, served long. Fort Scott wise to let that one go. They get their side out. They need it now. They need to get on a bit of a run here. Keegan Yarick serving for Fort Scott. And the point goes back to Eudora. Long dig that time. Not a great return by Fort Scott. Able to get back around on the next one, though, and keep it alive. Eudora comes near side. Fort Scott tries to block. It's dug by the Lady Tigers. They get it over to Hazel Baker. Her shot is blocked right back in her face, and it's a point for the Lady Cardinals. So after a slow start for Eudora, they have gotten on a roll here. They lead it now 11-5. Fort Scott going to need to turn that momentum around a little bit here. Already taken one of their 2 timeouts here in this opening set. Near side it comes, off the block, and they can't recover. So 12-5 now, Lady Cardinals with the lead. that swing a little bit too long. That time from Keegan. So 13-5, Eudora with the lead. Serve a little bit long that time for the Lady Cardinals. Nice block by Ford Scott. Eudora able to recover, but the Lady Tigers get it back over the net. Back near side it comes. Nice dig. It's a long one, though. Touched by Eudora, but Ford Scott able to get back to it. He'll come back near side again, trying to put that block. It went out of bounds. It did not touch the Ford Scott block. So 13-7. Couple straight points for the Lady Tigers here. Trying to get back in this opening frame. Nice dig to work at far side this time, and Eudora uses it over there. That looked like Harper Andrews, another senior on the front row for the Lady Cardinals. They've doubled up Fort Scott again here, 14-7. Tough luck for Hadley Forrester trying to dig that ball and get it to a teammate. And they serve Hadley again. This time Fort Scott able to get it over the net. Hadley's struggled the last couple of serves. Keegan dove for that one, but couldn't quite keep it alive, and now Fort Scott's going to have to take their second time out. Chad Cousins is your local 1842 Wealth Management Financial Advisor. Contact Chad for more information by email at chad@1842wealth.com or call 620-215-9240. State Farm agent Cale Nelson is your local agent for home and auto. Contact Cale for a quote by visiting Cale's website at calenelson.com, or you can give Cale a call at 620-223-2828. Out of the timeout, Eudora with the serve. They lead at 16-7 here in set number one. Nice dig by the Lady Tigers. Nice block by Eudora. Fort Scott able to keep it alive. And they're going to say that never came over the net. So they're going to call it a four-contact foul. Eudora thought that one hit the block of Fort Scott, which would have made the last touch there legal for the Lady Cardinals. They get it back there with a kill. That looked like it came from Indigo Pruitt, a junior. And that makes it 17-8 here in set number one. Swing. Oh, nice job by Kylie as she found the corner. It looked initially like that ball might come off. It came off her hand just a little bit awkward, but able to stay in bounds. The point goes back over to Fort Scott. 17-9 here, the score in the first set. Now Kylie will go back to serve for the Lady Tigers. And serve is a little bit too long that time for Comstock. So 18-9 is your score here in the first set. And now 19-9. Nice dig by Fort Scott. They'll serve the far side to Keegan. She'll get it, try to find the back corner. It's dug by Eudora, and they will keep it alive and get it over the net in 3. Long dig, they find Keegan, and she will find the kill. So Fort Scott gets to double digits here, trailing at 19-10. Raven serves. No key up, but get it over the far side. Oh, nice job by Fort Scott to keep it alive. They'll find Keegan again. She'll find the back corner once again. 2 straight points for the Lady Tigers. You get on a roll here in this first set for a couple of reasons. First of all, trying to close the gap, of course, here in the opening frame. But also, if they get the opportunity, build some momentum for the second set. Near side it comes. Off the net and falls on Fort Scott's side, it looks like. So Eudora, the first ones to 20 here. 20-11 is your score. Cameron McCormick will be in to serve for the Lady Cardinals. Goes to the net, now over the net from Fort Scott. Nice block by the Lady Tigers, but Eudora able to keep it alive. Come to the near side again. Man, they really like to hit that hard shot on the near side. They'll come again. They have not tried, and that one didn't get over the net. They've gone to Raya Foltz 3 times in that point, and each time she tried to hit as hard as she could. And Fort Scott, this time she goes up a little bit softer that time. Probably got a word from the coach. Hey, try the little drop shot, but it was blocked right back in her face. And they gave a double contact there. It looked like it hit her arm and then her chin, so double contact on Eudora. Fort Scott gets the point, 20-13 now. Can they get another one? Oh, that nearly went out, but Eudora able to keep it alive. Back to Raven. She'll get it over the net for Fort Scott. Will come far side. Nice block by the Lady Tigers, but it fell on Fort Scott's side of the net, unfortunately. So they put up a good block, but they didn't close it off quite enough. You got to get as close as you can to that net without touching the net. It is a violation, of course, to touch it. But you got to get as close as you can. That one's going to find the back corner, and it'll be a service ace for Eudora, 22-13. Lady Cardinals with the lead here in set number 1. As I was mentioning, you want to get as close as you can to the net without touching it. Touching it is a violation, but if you don't get close enough, the ball has a better chance of falling on your side of the net after a block. And another service return error for the Lady Tigers. And it is now 23-13. Eudora running away with this opening frame here this afternoon. Long serve, but it's dug by Fort Scott. They'll work it near side to Keegan, and she finds the side. 23-14 now. Again, Fort Scott looking for some momentum heading into that second set if they cannot come all the way back here in the first. Short serve, and Fort Scott's going to get the point. Eudora nice dig, and that's a nice kill on the far side, so that'll make it set point here. At 24-15. Long serve, dug by Keegan. Go far side to Kylie. She'll find the corner. Nice job by Kylie Comstock. So that saves one set point. Short serve, but it's dug by Eudora. They'll come back to the middle that time, and it's blocked, but blocked out of bounds. So the opening frame goes to Eudora here, 25-16. Take a short little break as they change ends here, and we'll come back with the second set in just a moment. You're watching Duckbait TV. Well, welcome back as we are just about ready to get set number 2 underway here this afternoon. Fort Scott Lady Tigers will need to rally after losing the first set here this afternoon. 25-16 was the score in that one. Fort Scott held with Eudora for the first 10 points or so, and then Lady Cardinals went on a run there. And the second set is underway. Fort Scott serving first. Eudora will go back to the far side. Nice dig by the Lady Tigers, a little bit long, and Eudora is able to use that for a point. So the Lady Cardinals get the first point here in set number 2. And another point here for Eudora. Tough luck for the Lady Tigers. They tried to get it over the net quickly, and So it's 2-1. I thought they had a point. I thought all the points have gone to Eudora so far, but evidently not the case. It's now 3-1. We'll get that changed on the scoreboard here on Duckbait TV. Again, thanks for watching here this afternoon. Nice dig by the Lady Tigers, but they can't get, Raven couldn't quite get to the pass. So it's now 4-1. Come near side. That one hit the net. That'll be a 4 contact, unfortunately, for the Lady Tigers. So Eudora out to a quick 5-1 lead here in set number 2. Looking to close this one out quickly. They'll come near side. That one found the back line. So Fort Scott able to get steal a point there. Nice swing that time by Keegan. Near side it comes. That one's off the net and goes out of bounds. It was not touched by Fort Scott. So Lady Tigers get another point closer here. It's now 5-3 in this opening frame. Excuse me, the second set. Fort Scott lost the first set. That one went right through the block. Fort Scott tried to put up there. Eudora, I think, did that on purpose as they saw the block coming, so tried to hit it off the block and out of bounds, and it worked for Eudora that time. 6-3 as they doubled up the Lady Tigers here. The winner moves on to the Sub-State Championship game later on this afternoon. Nobody there for Eudora. Fort Scott's going to steal another point as there was some miscommunication on the defense for the Lady Cardinals that time. Nice block. Oh, it didn't stay in bounds, though. Nice block by Fort Scott, and it was really close, but it didn't stay in bounds. So now 7-4. And one hit the net, but gets over. And it swung a little bit too far that time for the Lady Tigers. So after Fort Scott able to get it back to 6-4. 2 straight points now for the Lady Cardinals, make it 8-4, and then a service error on Eudora. Keegan Yarrick will go back to serve now for Fort Scott. Nice dig by Eudora, and they're going to get a double contact, it looked like, so maybe not as nice as I thought initially, as they get a double contact on the Lady Cardinals, so the point goes back to Fort Scott. And that one just a little long to serve that time, a little bit long from Keegan. That makes it 9-6 here in set number 2. Again, Fort Scott lost the first set, 25-16. High dig that time from Fort Scott. Raven able to get to it, though, and Fort Scott gets it over. Dakota able to get that one over for Fort Scott, and that one looked like it was going to find the back corner, so Keegan tried to get to it but couldn't get all the way around it, and it goes off of Keegan and out of bounds. Nice dig on the back row by Fort Scott, but a good block from Eudora. Gives them the point again. So 11-6 is your score. Serve a little bit too long that time. Lady Tigers trail by just 4. See if they can get on a run here. Briley Schaub serving for Fort Scott. And that one finds the corner. For Eudora. (12-7) is the score. Swing that time off of the block. Off the Eudora block, gives the point back to the Lady Tigers. It's 12-8. Nice effort by the Lady Tigers, but they just couldn't get into the right spot that time. Now 13-8. Tough luck for Dakota as that'll be a return error again on Fort Scott. Couldn't quite get the right angle on that one. Long dig, and that's what you don't want to have happen, as that set the Lady Cardinals up for a very easy dunk shot right at the net. Timeout, Fort Scott. They're first here in set number 2. In non-school sports, nobody's cheering for you. In high school sports, everyone is. Nothing brings communities together like high school sports, whether it's playing a Friday night game, or in a sold-out gym, or making a run at a conference championship. Nothing compares to the thrill of wearing the uniform of your high school. Wearing the uniform of your high school comes with a big responsibility. Your community cheers for you, your teammates count on you, and you have the opportunity to make history by competing for a state championship. Back to playing here, as Eudora will find the far side. So 16-8, and now we got a whistle, and it looks like a lift call is going to be on Fort Scott. So just that quickly, it's now 17-8 in favor of Eudora here in set number 2. And that time a block by Eudora. And the Lady Cardinals rolling here in set number 2. And another block at the net by Eudora. And this one's getting away from the Lady Tigers here. It's now 19-8. Fort Scott able to play it. Eudora, set up that block again, but unfortunately it fell on the Lady Tigers side of the court. So it's now 20-8 in favor of Eudora here in set number 2. And Fort Scott's going to take their last time out. Try to regroup a little bit here. As it is 21-8 here in set number 2. The Kansas State High School Activities Association conducts officials rules meetings, training clinics, and workshops throughout the state with a view toward providing a sound educational experience for all athletes. For more information on becoming an official in any sport, contact Keisha at 785-273-5329. And I know they really need officials right now in every sport. This is a public service message from your Kansas State High School Activities Association and Duckbait TV. So coming out of the timeout, Eudora will have the serve once again. 21-8 is the score here in set number 2. Fort Scott needs to get on a roll quickly here. And another kill for the Lady Cardinals. And now they're just 3 points away from finishing this one off. And that serve will be a little bit long. So we'll see if Fort Scott can get some momentum now. And another kill for Eudora. They have used that far side to perfection here in this match today. 23-9. Come near side. Keegan gets it over the net. Now back around. It goes to Eudora. Little drop shot that time. They haven't used that very much today, but they used it that time, and it went out of bounds. So maybe that's why they haven't used it a whole lot. As Fort Scott was able to read it, get away from the ball, and not touch it before it went out of bounds. Far side, and out of bounds again, it looks like. So another point to the Lady Tigers, 23-11. Nice block by Fort Scott. Eudora able to recover, though. Long dig that time, but it's returned again by the Lady Cardinals. Back around to Keegan, and she'll find the middle of the court empty. 23-12 now. Fort's got a little bit of a mini run here. Nice block, and that one finds empty court inbounds. So Fort Scott cuts it back to 10, 23-13. Long dig that time for Eudora. Block at the net. Fort Scott able to keep it alive. We'll come back near side, and again, some miscommunication on the Eudora side. Works out in favor of Fort Scott. So a good little run here for the Lady Tigers. It's now 23-14. Still got a ways to go here, but making a nice run right now. We'll go far side with it. Nice dig by the Lady Tigers. Come at the net, and then it bounced off of Raven just a little bit too far to the side. And now it is 24-14. Set point here for Eudora. Nice block. It's going to go out of bounds, so Fort Scott will save the point again. It's now 24-15. And they get on a run with, looks like Avery Stewart serving now. Ooh, nice swing by Eudora. Fort Scott unable to get to it. And that one finishes this one off here this afternoon as Fort Scott falls to Eudora in 2 sets, 25-16 in the first, 25-15 here in the second. So a tough finish to the season for the Lady Tigers. As Fort Scott will fall to 14-23 and finish their season at that mark. Eudora will improve to 21-8 or 22-8 rather, and go on to the Sub-State Championship. That'll be later on this afternoon against either Baldwin or Ottawa. Those two will face each other coming up in a little bit. Again, tough one here for Fort Scott. They just couldn't get things going in the right direction early on and got behind the 8 ball a little bit. Nice little run there in the second set, but just too much ground to make up, and they fall short here this afternoon. Again, we want to thank our sponsors. Huge thanks to all of our sponsors for helping make these broadcasts possible. Again, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again and again and again. It has been amazing the support that we have gotten this year here with Duckbait TV. Again, this is something that my wife and I started just a few months ago, and one of our hopes was to get as many Fort Scott athletes time in the limelight, for lack of a better term, as possible. These kids, all the kids, not just the football players and the basketball players, but all the kids, put a lot of time and effort in the summer, working out and getting better, and we want to celebrate that. And so getting the opportunity to come do some of these volleyball matches has been a treat. And so, again, a huge thanks to all of our sponsors here. We'll run through the list one more time this afternoon. Chad Cousins is your local 1842 Wealth Management Financial Advisor. Contact Chad for more information by email at chad@1842wealth.com or call Chad at 620-215-9240. State Farm agent Cale Nelson is your local agent for home and auto. Contact Cale for a quote. You can visit Cale's website at calenelson.com or give Cale a call at 620-223-2828. Highway 3 has modern personalized fleece name blankets along with fun and unique personalized gifts. You can also now find Highway 3 products at several retail stores in the area. For more information, follow their Facebook page at facebook.com/shophighway3 or check out their website, shophighway3.com. H2 Painting LLC, the right way the first time. Look them up on Facebook at facebook.com/H2PaintingSCK or call them at 620-605-2769. Edward Jones has been advising customers in the world of finance for over 100 years. Financial advisor Jamie Armstrong continues that tradition in Fort Scott. Contact Jamie by phone at 620-223-1866, or you can email Jamie at jamie.armstrong@edwardjones.com. Joey Fritter is a loan officer with Open Mortgage. Open Mortgage is a multi-channel mortgage lender, believing that better is possible, constantly striving to bring a better mortgage experience to everyone. Joey can assist you in buying a home from start to finish. Her office is located at 1 East Wall Street here in Fort Scott. Call today to get pre-qualified for a home loan at 620-644-8146. And Liberty Savings has been in Fort Scott since 1919, helping community members with their banking needs for over 100 years. Visit them at 24 South Judson or call 620-223-0300. Did want to run through a couple of things, mainly just congratulations to some Fort Scott Tigers and Lady Tigers. Sophomore Abby Gorman placed 8th in singles in the 4A state tennis tournament last weekend in Winfield. So congratulations to Abby. 3 other Lady Tigers joined her at the state tournament. Didn't finish quite as high as Abby did, but a great season for the Lady Tiger tennis team for sure. And looking forward to what that can become. A sophomore, when a sophomore finishes 8th at state in a sport like tennis, you think, that's going to continue to rise for Abby and the Lady Tigers. So looking forward to what that can become over the next several years. As we mentioned, soccer earlier this week, they shut out Paola on Tuesday. The score there was 2-0, so they went, I believe, in Paola. So they went up to Paola and won that one from the Panthers. Thursday night rather, they defeated College Heights 1-0 on a penalty kick in overtime to win their senior night game. So that was a big win for the soccer team. And then they will come up to Eudora on Tuesday this next week, October 24th, to face the Cardinals in regionals. And a little side note, I mentioned it last night on the football broadcast, but it was towards the end of the game. And so not sure how many people heard, but I'm going to say it again. We would love to come up and broadcast that game on Tuesday for the soccer kids here in Eudora, but we need a game sponsor. Keisha charges us to do the state events like the sub-state and regionals and things like that, and so they need their financial things as well, and so we understand that. But so we kind of budgeted for a couple of the things, but we didn't budget for the soccer. So we do need a game sponsor. So if somebody out there would love to see us come up here and broadcast that game for the soccer team on Tuesday night, we would love to do it. But just give us a message on our Facebook page, Duckbait Media on Facebook. Send us a message and let us know that you're interested, and we'll kind of go back and forth and see what you can do for us. So it's a decent cost. It's not like $5 or $10. It's a decent cost to do it, but we would love to do it, and we just need a little bit of help to get that done. So if you're interested in having us come up here and broadcast that game, again, let us know through our Facebook page. Send us a message on Facebook, and we'll get back to you and see if we can do that. It's a little bit of a time crunch with everything that we need to do with Keisha and with the folks here in Eudora, so we need to know by tomorrow evening, by Sunday evening, if we can do that or not. And so hopefully we can. It'd be great to do that. And like I said, we need at least one sponsor, but we'll take 3, 4, 5 sponsors, whoever wants to come on board with that. But we will need to have a little bit extra. We've got great sponsors, as I mentioned. I just ran through them. We have had phenomenal sponsorship help this entire season, but we do need just a little bit extra to do that playoff game for the soccer team on Tuesday if anybody's interested. So definitely get in touch with us if you are. The cross-country team, they were at the regionals today down just outside of Girard at the Greenbush Education Center. That was a meet that was hosted by Southeast High School, the Southeast Lancers. So the girls started at 10:35. The boys were supposed to start at 11:45, so they, of course, should be done by now. Not sure exactly the results on the cross-country events there, but we'll find out. I'm sure Coach Delatorre is going to have that out on Facebook as soon as they get that information to have those results and see who is advancing on to state. State will be in Wamego next week, as it I believe as it has been several years for those cross-country kids. So again, a huge shout out to those cross-country kids for Coach Bogina for putting in the time and the effort that they do to make that go. And then, of course, football last night, it was a tough one for the Tiger football team. They lost to Coffeyville 42-6. That put them in the 11th seed for the football playoffs. And so the Tigers will be traveling to St. Thomas Aquinas on Friday night. And we're going to do everything we can to get to that game. We do have to get some approval from Keisha to be able to do that. And, of course, we are the second football broadcast team for Fort Scott, so we will get in touch with the folks we need to do that on Monday and make sure we can do that. But we are planning on being in, I believe it's Overland Park, on Friday to cover that game for you. If you can't make it up to to the Kansas City area to watch the Tigers in person. We will do everything we can to make sure that we are on the air for that one on Friday night. But again, the Tigers will be on their way to face St. Thomas Aquinas. And some folks are going to hear that and think, well, it's maybe not going to be a good thing for the Tigers, but you know what? If St. Peter's can beat Kentucky in an NCAA first-round game, the Tigers can beat St. Thomas Aquinas. I firmly can believe that. And so we'll hope for the best for the Tiger football team. And you never know. Chanute beat Bishop Miege a couple years ago. That might have been in basketball, though. But it can happen. And I noticed St. James Academy has a really bad record. They're going to play Bishop Miege in the first round this year. So things may be changing on the private school front. Hopefully that's the case. Looking forward to Friday night. Hopefully the Tigers can pull off an upset there at St. Thomas Aquinas. And like I said, we'll let you know for sure earlier this week, but we're going to do everything we can to make sure we're there with Duckbait TV as well. So, again, to recap, if anybody wants to sponsor us to come up and do the soccer game on Tuesday, we would love to do that. But we do need an extra sponsor for that. So let us know. Message us on Facebook if you are interested in helping us out with that. And then also, as I mentioned, we're going to do everything we can to make sure we're at St. Thomas Aquinas on Friday to bring in that one on Duckbait TV also. So looking forward to what's coming up. And then, of course, not too far away is basketball season. So looking forward to that for the Tigers and the Lady Tigers. But, again, a tough one here this afternoon as the Fort Scott Lady Tiger volleyball team falls here today to Eudora in 2 sets. They lose the first set 25-16, lose the second one 25-15. So their season is over here this afternoon. But Coach Kegler, they'll regroup. They'll have a good group next year. They do lose quite a few seniors, but looking forward to the underclassmen coming up as they've had a pretty good volleyball program here at Fort Scott for a while. So looking forward to that for next season. And, yeah, it's been fun. So, anyway, thanks again to all of our sponsors for helping us out. Again, 1842 Wealth Management, State Farm Agent Kel Nelson, Highway 3, H2 Painting LLC, Edward Jones Financial Advisor Jamie Armstrong, Open Mortgage Loan Officer Joey Fritter, and Liberty Savings, all of our sponsors for helping us out. And, again, a huge thanks to everybody for pitching in. It has been a fun fall for me, for sure, to get back in this position. I really I feel like this is one of the things I was meant to do is to come out and broadcast these games and to have the opportunity to do it in this format has been great. So huge thanks to our sponsors. Huge thanks to our sponsors. Again, the final score here today, Fort Scott losing the first set 25-16, losing the second set 25-15, and lose this one in 2 sets, 2-0 to Eudora. Thanks to my dad, Willie Beatty, for coming with me, working on the camera today, and it's been a fun fall for us. So looking forward to what's to come. So anyway, thanks for watching us here on Duckbait TV. To all the Duckbaits out there, good night, Kansas.